Good morning, welcome to Morning Coffee with AP, and your guys' question for today was actually for me, thank you, I appreciate that. It was, how do you balance life and working out by still getting ready for your competition? So we're going to go over how to get ready for a competition and manage your time, stress, sleep, and all that kind of stuff by still being productive during the day. Stay tuned. So, welcome back to Morning Coffee with AP, guys. We got not the man mug, we got the get shit done mug, because we are about 4 weeks out from our bodybuilding competition. I'll be doing classic physique as well as bodybuilding itself up in Spokane, Washington. It's at the Empire Classic. So if you're around that area, it's usually in the springtime. Whenever you're watching this, could be 2 years from now, but hopefully they'll still be running it, and that's kind of like the home base of where I'm from. A lot of my team, my athletes compete there. But anyways, today we want to talk about how do we balance life in general while we're prepping for a bodybuilding show, just because it's so extensively grueling, especially towards the ending weeks. So if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining on. I have a list here. I literally just write down more and more questions from you guys that you comment below, or on my Instagram, especially Austin Paulson Fitness. On my stories, I post up questions or polls, and then I write them all down, and we go into morning coffee. I answer them to help you guys with your fitness goals, and I'm truly thankful for each and every one of you asking questions, participating, and allowing me to help you with your goals. So let's dive into it. How do we balance life? How do we go into a bodybuilding competition? Because most people think that just prepping for a show, they're like, oh, I want to do it. It's 12 weeks out. Let's do a bodybuilding show that looks super fun. Let's backtrack. I'm going to give you the reality of what the expectations are to prep for a bodybuilding show. One, I see it extensively important that unless you're under 10% body fat, I even like to go a little lower, but you should probably not look at doing a show 12 weeks out. You should extend the process of the prep, because things get difficult, and also things happen in life in general. People just think about like the dieting phase of like, okay, it's calculated. I'm going to lose this amount of weight, I'm going to make it perfect timeline. That's not how it works. It's not a linear timeline for a prep. It goes like this: up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and oh, backwards. Oh, okay, we made it. That's how a prep usually happens, because of how your body. You need to understand how your body responds to things, and you might need to pull back, push forward. Life comes up, you're traveling, all this kind of stuff. And that's what I want to dive into today, because I think this was a very important question about how do you balance all that. So what I do is, towards the beginning of prep, I have my own business, AP Performance, and I help a lot of people, hundreds and hundreds now, with their fitness and nutrition goals, their health goals, losing weight, gaining weight, strength, all that kind of stuff. And if you're interested in that, I have a link below. You can apply for my coaching. And we can go through and see if I can actually help you out, and then see what kind of program would be best for you. But anyways, further out, we have more energy levels, consistent energy levels, where calories are higher, we're training more intense. And I spend a lot of my time developing and getting ready for this time right now, which I'm 4 weeks out, which I'm getting to be a little bit fatigued. It's just going to be like that, right? But I spend a lot of time building courses, doing a lot of work on that end, development end, and pushing that role in the beginning, getting ready for this part, which I'm not doing too much. I'm really focusing and actually making myself relax more and spend more time in me, like individual, like actually going and doing yoga, or getting stretching done, or spending time with friends and family to decrease my stress levels, because that is a huge thing for a lot of competitors at the end. That usually messes things up severely. So how do I balance it is, I have a schedule, which I'll write down before I go to bed each night, of the goals for the next day. And I'll knock them out. And as time goes on, I kind of auto-regulate the amount of mental capacity that I see I having. Meaning like maybe 12 weeks out, I can get 10 good objectives done that are extensive. I can get all that done in a day that I need to get done. But now maybe I've decreased that to only 5 main objectives. Because the reason being, if you still have all that, it's going to put a lot of stress on you, but also you're going to half-ass all those instead of getting 5 done at your max mental capacity. Instead of trying to do 10 at half mental capacity and doing a half-ass job, now I'm going to focus on these 5 and get them done, and it's okay because there'll be another day to get more stuff done. So that's how I like to go about that, is auto-regulate, measuring like where am I at mentally, and can I give it my all? Because most people are like, oh, you gotta be hardcore. Yeah, no, I understand. I'm pretty hardcore. I do a lot of shit. I mean, I was 12 weeks out, staying up till 2, 3 in the morning, getting up at 7 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock. I mean, like 4 hours of sleep. I was going hard as hell, which is not recommended with how hard I was training. But I was pursuing a business opportunity and all these different things that I wanted to pursue for you guys. And so then as the time went on, though, my body started adjusting. I knew I needed to pull back on those actions. And so that's just what I call auto-regulating, stress, sleep, all that kind of stuff. That if it's preventing me from progressing, then I'm doing too much, and I pull it back. And then I started progressing, right? And then I get to the point where if I'm still doing too much, I'll pull it back. So that's super important. And this doesn't mean just like stop moving and going and doing stuff. As you get closer to the show, you do not want to do that, because some of that calorie expenditure to put you in that deficit was from doing things. Like if you at your job, going and getting all those steps in is still a big part of that deficit, right? So you don't want to just be like laying and sleeping all day long, only going and training, and then coming home and sleeping all day long. You don't want to be doing that. You still want to be active, just like in a different mindset of more of not a stressful environment. But the first thing I do, write down the goals, and I'll go down and I'll check off all those goals. And I'll split up the day into like a more of, it's not like a reward system, but it's like little breaks here and there, right? So I'll get my first objective done, and then I'll go and I'll walk down to the commons in this apartment complex I stay at, and I'll get some coffee or some tea, and I'll enjoy just peacefulness, and then I'll come back and I'll start on the next one. And I schedule ahead, especially like my time in blocks, right? Phone calls, this meeting, all that kind of stuff needs to be actually scheduled out, so I know exactly what I'll be doing, so I'm not stressed out about like, oh, I gotta do this, or oh my gosh, I forgot about this. The more structure I can put for myself, usually the easier the day goes. You know exactly what's gonna happen, and you go with it. And then, at the end of the day, I'll cut myself off, say, all right, enough work for the day, go and enjoy time with friends, family, relax, hot tub or whatever, and that's what I'll do. And then it takes a second because I'm so hardcore about getting more and more done. But as prep gets further in, that's what I made myself do, is to just step back and rejuvenate myself. Because if you don't do that, the next day you're going to be paying for it, and you're not going to have the mental capacity to really do anything. And now you just wasted a whole entire day. So I'd say that people who have jobs, 9 to 5, they're working somewhere, structure your schedule out. You got a meal prep, right? And I have specific days for meal prepping. I block it off, Wednesdays and Sundays for me. Unless you're doing a different approach of tracking as you go, which totally love that stuff. But for me, I like to at least know what I'll be eating, because I don't like to feel like, if I'll track different foods and stuff like that, but I will kind of plan ahead the day, because I don't like feeling like I ate all my calories in the beginning of the day, and then at the end of the day, I have nothing left, and then I'm hungry. I hate that. I absolutely cannot stand it. So I'll actually sometimes eat less calories at the beginning of the day, depending on where I'm training, and then make sure that I have enough at the end of the day when I'm still trying to get stuff done. Maybe I need to get stuff done, and I have that fuel to keep me going, right? So I say scheduling it out, giving myself kind of a reward system of peace, or going and spending some time with friends to keep me going mentally. It's kind of like all mental strength. That is what prep is all about. Most people think it's the physical thing of just losing weight. No. You need to understand yourself, and when you're pushing too hard, which I hope you have a coach, and if you need a coach, you can inquire with me. But if you're not having a coach when you're competing, I think that's a very big mistake, because you are yourself, and you're looking at yourself every day in the mirror, as well as you are in your own head of the emotional responses. But if you have a coach outside looking in, he can tell, or she can tell, when you are starting to feel fatigued, when you're mentally starting to get a little more anxious, all these things. And that's when they know when to pull back, to get you back in that mindset to keep pushing forward. Because if we keep going forward, we keep pushing, then when we break, and then we're just like, screw this, the back step is huge. But if we go progress, we start to see fatigue, we start to see us, kind of mentally coming down, we can take a small step back, and that's enough to give us recharge our batteries, and then move forward. so we don't inhibit the amount of progress we just made, right? So that's kind of how I like to balance life. Sorry guys, don't have a significant other right now, so I don't have to worry about that part. And I'm kind of more focused with business ventures in my life right now. I have a supplement company launching. We have AP Performance growing. And so we're kind of just getting all this stuff into place for you guys, putting out content. And I'm really excited for it. So there's a lot that I do. I do a lot. But most people, that's all relative. What I'm doing that's a lot is not a lot to say like Elon Musk, right? But somebody who's literally living out in the woods in a van, to them I'm probably doing a lot, right? And that's totally fine. Everybody's different, but it's just how you go about it. And I strongly suggest you structuring out the day in time blocks, whatever that is, scheduling ahead of what your actions are to do is, not giving yourself too much, but auto-regulating by your mental capacity. And fixing your nutrition and getting your sleep will dramatically help you get things done to your fullest potential. So if you're not feeding yourself, if you're not getting sleep, if you're not exercising, then you think that by doing all that you're saving time to get more done, you are wrong, because you are mentally draining your batteries, where the performance of those tasks is going downhill fast. And then there's going to be consequences of that. Whether you get sick, whether you do something stupid at your job and you get fired or whatever, right? So you want to not just go balls out. You want to know what is the most I can get done that's at the highest level of my efforts. That's quality, right? You want to do quality work. And that's what I'm always about. So that if that means like you can only handle 5 objectives a day, but you're able to get your nutrition, exercise, sleep, and those 5 things are going to be really good. And then you can go to the next 5 things the next day. Tomorrow's another day. So I'm kind of rambling on, but that's exactly how I like to go about it. It's all adjusted throughout prep. You got to be mentally tough. The mental preparation for a show is, something like nothing else in this world in my eyes, because you get into a very low body fat percentage. Your hormones are being messed with and everything because you're getting to a low body fat percentage. The stress levels, the training, the recovery, the consistency, it's a lot, but it's very attainable. As long as you just have the mental strength, you can do all of this stuff, and there's no complaints because you put yourself in the position to do the show. So it's your own fault. So stop complaining. You chose to do it. Structure your schedule so you don't have to affect the relationships around you, because I hate when there's people that have been together for a long time, one of them wants to do a show, and they break up or whatever happens during the process. I absolutely hate that, because it is your responsibility that going into it that it is going to be mentally challenging, and you shouldn't be affecting the people around you, especially if they're trying to support you with that. So just my thoughts on competing and how I balance everything. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys wanting to partake in a contest prep. Like I said, if you want to look into coaching, you can click the link in my description box below. We've coached a lot of people, a lot of top 5 placings, a lot of first place. We have overall champions. We have national level athletes, people competing for the pro cards this year. So we are very into the competitive realm of bodybuilding, men's physique, classic physique, bikini, all that kind of stuff. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this morning. If you have not yet, subscribe to the channel. Sharing this stuff like every single morning. If you think that this would benefit somebody else, go ahead and share it to them. I truly appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up, and comment any more questions below that you guys have. So other than that, I will talk to you tomorrow morning.